Oh, hey, welcome back. I don't know about you, but today is an afternoon coffee kind of day for me. To be honest and fair, this is a decaf because it is the afternoon, but I'm going to trick my brain with the taste and be like, real coffee. You deserve this. Cheers. So, how are you? How's your summer been going? Admittedly, mine is long. It feels very long. I mean, it's good. Still good. The weather is good. It's been nice and hot and warm. We obviously have some smoke because BC in the summer. It is. You can't really get away from it. But it's been pretty good. It hasn't been horrible. But it does. It feels really long. We don't really have any plans to go anywhere or do anything, so that makes it feel a little longer. It's not broken up by anything. So having the kids home every day with me is just, it's kids in a house all summer long. It is what it is. It'd be nice to get out, to go camping. I've never gone camping with the kids, actually. I haven't gone camping in years. Which is funny because when I was a kid, for our summers, every summer, my grandparents would take my cousins and they'd take us on a motorhome trip. So in the beginning, it was 4 of us cousins and the odd parent, and we wouldn't go very far from home. But then it quickly became 5 of us going with my grandparents, and we would travel a little bit further. Still nowhere like crazy, but they were brave. They were brave doing that. Just 2 adults with 5 crazy kids going on their trips. It was good. It was so much fun, though. I have so many stories from those. A lot of stories that I think my family would murder me for if I divulged them on the internet. But it was great, especially growing up. Like, kids need stories. They need fun times like that. My kids are going to be going to my parents' place at the end of summer for a little bit of a sleepover. And they love that. They typically do that every summer, too, and they have a good time, which is nice. I was thinking back on my video yesterday. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. That'd be really cool. But I was talking about part of why it took a long time to get started on YouTube, and one of the things was vulnerability. Do you ever have for someone where you have had a moment with them or an experience with them that is very just like impactful to you, or years later you're still thinking about it and it was like a good thing, not a bad one, something that really just like shifted your perspective, I don't know, on life, on how things work, but that feels so incredibly hard to tell that person, even though I'm sure that would be like a nice thing to hear. I mean, I'd like to hear that if somebody was like, hey, like, you really made an impact on me in a really good way. Like, that'd be so nice. That would make me feel really good. But that's really hard to say to somebody else, that for some reason that feels vulnerable. Like, why that feels vulnerable to me to say, but it does. And I was thinking about that and thinking about summer. And it was making me think about a story about my grandpa. On one of our summer trips. So this had to have been when I was like 11, around 11. I can't remember exactly. But we had gone on the motorhome trip to, I think it was like Barkersville or maybe Fort Steele. I'm not sure if we'd gone there. We've gone to a couple historical towns. If you don't know, Barkersville is like a historical town in BC from like gold rush times, and they do, I don't know, they do historical reenactment stuff, but they also just have like, the actors there who are, like the blacksmith who's working, and they do, they put on stage shows in the theater. We had gone to this, the one summer, and we'd gone there and watched the stage show. Couldn't tell you what it was about. It was kind of, one of those dramedy, whatever it was. What stuck out in it is that there were, the main actors, the main characters in their scenes. But there was one actor who was the comic relief character. They were in the most scenes of this play. Like, they had lots of lines, they were in so many scenes, but they were the goofy, silly character, and not a lot of other parts in that were really goofy or silly. Anyways, we watched it and it was like, yeah, that's great. After the show is done, you go outside and the actors all come out and you can go and get pictures with them. Because, they're in their old-timey clothes and it's kind of cool. So you can go and take pictures with them. So of course you have like the main actors, and you can see all the families, a lot of the tourists and people are flocking towards the main few characters. And, you know, there was a few that we really wanted to get our picture with too. And off to the side a little bit was the comic relief character. It was a young woman. And she was standing there, and there was no one around her. No one was going over there asking for her picture. You know, and she's standing there, and you could see on her face too that, you know, she's smiling and stuff, but it looked kind of that like, ugh. It's like, that's hard. If you've ever been in theater, sometimes the comic relief character is so underappreciated. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy to be this silly character all the time. But people don't have the same appreciation for it. Or it's like, you're not the cool actor that they want to go have the picture with. You know, especially not kids at a reenactment town. Like, I don't know. Anyway, she was standing a little bit off to the side, and you could tell that this was kind of, she knew that people weren't there for her. And I just remember in that moment, my grandpa looking around, you know, as we're all like, can we go with the picture? Can we get the picture? He's like, yeah. And he looks and he sees her, and he just, there you are. We were looking for you. And she looks at him kind of, you know, confused. And he's like, my grandkids would love to get a picture with you. You're the star of the show. He's like, man, you were in so many scenes. You did such a great job. Like, come on, guys, come on, here she is. You know, we're kind of thinking like, what? We didn't ask to get a picture with her. But the way her face changed, like, absolutely, her smile, like, I don't know if I could find the picture anymore. I don't know. My grandma kept albums with tons of stuff, but who knows where it is now. But you can see in that picture, like, I have a memory in my head of that picture, how big her smile was in that. And I remember, for me as a kid, seeing my grandpa and watching this interaction, it made such a big impact on me. Like, I think it shifted something for me. So, you know, as a kid, you're just bobbing through life. You're not paying attention to a lot of things. Like, I think a lot of things happen around you that you don't notice. You don't really notice it. But for whatever reason, this one really stuck out to me. And I did notice it. I saw it. And I remember thinking, like, wow. Like, that interaction, that for him, like, he had no reason to do that. It cost him nothing. The effort of that was nothing. And he absolutely changed her experience of that entire moment. Like, he shifted that for her. And I to this day, that's something I think about a lot. And I think the main thing that it pops up in my head is that, like, kindness literally costs nothing. That cost him nothing in that moment. Like, not at all. They were free pictures. It was tourists out there taking pictures with a bunch of people. But he chose in that moment to go to the person who didn't have anyone waiting for their picture. And to not only go and be like, oh, okay, well, let's go ask her and be like, oh, hey, can we get a picture? But to make that a moment and to be like, wow, and to point out to her how well she'd done. And just, I don't know. It stuck with me. It stuck with me for a long time. Have I ever told my grandpa that? No. I haven't. Why? I don't know. It's so silly, but that feels like, oh no, that'd be awkward. Or he'd be like, I don't even remember that. Like, why are you bringing that up? Like, and not like he would even say that. But for whatever reason, in my head, that's silly. Why? Doing this is silly. Like, this can be silly. A lot of people think this is. I think we should tell people the impact that they have on us before they're not around. Oh, that makes me emotional. I think that's why, too. That's why it's hard to tell people. It's because I know you get emotional. I don't want to go to grandpa and be like, I have this good memory, let me tell you, and then just like cry at him. That one might not make him feel good. He'd be like, are you sure it's a good memory? The way you're acting is not like it's a good memory. Found a Kleenex. I'm trying really hard to teach my kids that there's nothing wrong with feelings or with emotions, and it's okay to be sad and it's okay to cry, and that's fine. But I'm also still trying to teach myself that. Because, I'm sorry, millennial, did you grow up with that being okay? Honest, no. Of course not. But yeah, that was just a really cool moment. My grandpa was like that, though. I mean, is like that. My grandpa is a very social person. He's one of those people who can just talk to anybody. Just anybody. Strike up a conversation and he talks to you like you're his best friend. And he's just, yeah, very personable, very an extrovert for sure. I wish I had that skill. Like, I will talk to people and I think I'm nice, but I am not the same level of just like, hey, how's it going? How are you? Oh, what you up to? Oh, you're doing this? That's cool. Tell me about it. And have people just be like, oh, okay. It's like, no. And the person's like, oh, I like your shirt. Run away. But I really do try to keep that in mind. I do try to live kind of by that like kindness costs you nothing. It really does. I'm trying. I'm not always good at it, but I'm trying more that if I do like someone's outfit or their hair or whatever, to say it more often. I think we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of people just being positive or kind just because. And like, people are, but I think it is more people just think it and we don't say it because like, oh, well, we don't need to. People are dressed nice or they know that. And it's like, but you don't. If you think to your own experience, like, anytime I've been complimented on an outfit or jewelry, something, complimented on something, I have never been out there being like, I look so good today. I can't wait to see how many people tell me. Absolutely not. It's usually like, oh man, I don't know. Can I pull this off? Do they know that I'm not a dress person, that I don't wear dresses a lot? Maybe they can tell that I'm not a big earring person. Like, why would they tell that? But that's the feeling I have. So it's always much appreciated when people leave a compliment. So I'm trying to do that more. I'm trying to put that out there more. I really tried to do this last last month. My mom and I took a trip to Toronto for my cousin's wedding. And there was a few instances where it's like I complimented people on, outfits, or complimented people on their work. Like some of the gate people at the airport, like, come on. They work so hard. And there was one lady manning a gate all by herself. And she was crushing it. Like, she deserves a raise. She was doing such a good job. And like, as we're going through, I even said to her, I was like, they are lucky that they have you. Like, you are so good at your job. And she's like, oh, thank you. Which was really nice. But just trying to say that more. I did have one experience. So I'm not a big city person. I am a small town country girl. And this is my first time ever in Toronto. We were walking to it was the night before for the wedding. So it was the like engagement part, meet and greet engagement party type thing, or wedding party. So we were walking to that down the street. So this is like later in the evening. Anyways, we're going. And one thing to notice too, like if you are not a city person, the amount of people that you're just walking past, and nobody is paying attention to everybody. Everyone's shoving past. And something that just crushes my soul about humanity. At the same time on a street, you have people walking around in designer clothes and really upscale and, look like they're doing good. You are walking past people who are laying in the street, literally sleeping in the street. And I won't get into the rant of it right now, but all I will say is society is doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong if that is a common experience. Anyways, so we were walking. And of course, people are shoving past people, whatever. No one's being exceptionally mean. This is New York. But it's just, it is the rush of people. So we're going, and as we're walking, we get behind this like younger woman, and she's just sobbing, just absolutely sobbing, crying as she's just walking. Just not a single person is looking at her. Not a single person is interacting in any way. They're just walking, they're living their own life. Unfair. And we're right behind her. going the same way. And in my head, I just keep thinking, like, don't interact. Don't interact. You're not supposed to. Like, don't. You're in a big city. This is how people get stabbed, right? Like, don't interact. It's just not a good idea. But literally, if I could explain to you just the absolute sadness you could feel from this person as she's walking down the street. Like, this wasn't the, I don't know. If you are not a feeling person, this probably doesn't make sense. And you're like, oh, okay. But she didn't feel like a person who was, you know, dangerous or a little like off or something. And you're like, no, don't interact. She just felt sad, just so incredibly sad. So against my better judgment in my brain of being like, don't interact, this is how you get stabbed. We're walking and we're just kind of passing her, and I turned and I said, like, are you okay? And she looked at me and she looked kind of like, you're interacting. And she was like, no, I'm not. She's crying. And I don't know this person. I have no idea what she's gone through, what's happening, what's going on in her life. So I offered all I knew how, and I just said, would you like a hug? And she looked at me a little surprised, like, she's probably thinking, don't hug her, this is how you get stabbed. But she didn't, but she was like, yeah, I would. So it's like, okay, so I gave her a hug. That was it, just gave her a big hug. And then after we finished that, she asked my name, and I gave it, and she gave me hers. And then I just had said, like, I really hope that your day gets better. And that was it. I said goodbye and carried on. And I kind of regret that. I wish I kind of said a little bit more. But that's all I had at that moment, right? It was just a little bit of human empathy to offer. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a point to that story. I don't have like a good moral, or it just, I think we all need to try to do that a little bit more. It's sad how alone people feel when there's so many people around. Like, that's crazy. It's a giant city. And she in that moment felt absolutely alone. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was her fault. I don't know if she did something, or if she just lost something, lost someone. You just don't know. Anyways, just an example, I guess, of that impact of that. Kindness costs nothing. Anyways, just, yeah, that's my ramble for today, I guess. And the point of this video, kindness costs nothing. So like and subscribe. Just kidding. Don't do that. Unless you want to. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.